up. You said they were there first. What does that mean?
Okay.
Jews were there as well as the Palestinians.
Okay. The Jews that you're talking about, Mizrahi Jews, aka Arab Jews, that are actually from that region, they were not the same Jews that we're talking about that occupy and run Israel now, which are Ashkenazi Jews from Ukraine, Russia, Poland. Netanyahu is Polish, okay? Golda Meir were Ukrainian. Menachem Begin, Ukrainian. These people don't have ties to the land like that.
They do have ties to the land.
No, they don't. If you look at there's a reason why DNA tests are heavily regulated in Israel, okay? These people don't have ties to that land. The Jews that you're thinking about, the biblical Jews, are not the same Jews of today. Okay, that is a Hezbollah lie that they use to try to tie themselves to the land and say, "Oh no, look, we're all Jews. We all have Jewish blood, etc." But there's different types of Jews. There's so many different types.
That's not true. There's different type of Jews, but the Ashkenazi Jews and the Jews that were there have different percentages of blood connection to the seed of Abraham. But they're all Jews. Just because they were, I say, forced out of the region at some point and they end up race mixing and coming back to the land, don't mean they have no lineage to the land. That's not true. Here's the
thing.
And they didn't come.
DNA, etc. The Palestinians are the indigenous people to that region.
No, but the Jews that were there are indigenous too. The Jews that were there alongside the Palestinians this entire time.
Yes, some of the Mizrahi Jews, the Arab Jews that are from the Levant, yes. But the Jews that we're talking about today, the modern Jews, the white-looking guys, these Ashkenazis, they're not from that region.
They have a bloodline lineage from the region. Just because they were born in Poland and other places doesn't mean that they don't have connection to the bloodline in the region.
And here's the other thing too. You want to know? This is going to debunk your entire argument. The guy the father of Zionism, Theodor Herzl. Did you know that he wanted to go to Argentina first? The only reason he picked Israel, which by the way, this guy is secular. He was an atheist, just like Ben Gurion. I find it interesting that atheists say that God promised them that land, but they don't believe in God. It's another Hezbollah lie. Theodor Herzl, he originally wanted to go to Argentina. But then he only said, you know what, let's go to Palestine because it's going to be easier to sell for a Zionist project. That's a dirty secret that they don't want to tell you.
But you say that, but it's funny that you say that because you can peddle that on one side. You can say that's a legitimate argument, but it's also biblical that the people of Israel will be brought back to the land of Israel.
But
it's biblical. It's also a biblical prophetic reality, and Zionists believe in that biblical reality, and that was a driving force behind the support from America and American Jews.
And that is exactly why I'm telling you it's all a bunch of BS, because the founder of Zionism and the first prime minister, Ben Gurion, were both atheists. Theodor Herzl.
Just because you atheist don't mean you don't acknowledge. Just because you atheist don't mean you acknowledge the reality.
You don't believe in God.
Historicity of it.
They don't believe in God.
They don't have to believe in God,
Brandon,
to understand the validity of what people are trying to convince them to do or trying to partner with them to do.
Okay.
You don't have to believe in God to understand what the Bible says. What
do you not find it crazy that the guy who said we're gonna go to first he said we're gonna go to Argentina, then he said, you know what, nah. For me to sell this Zionist project, it's going to be better if I say we're going to go to Palestine because we have biblical ties to it, and it's going to be an easier sell, and we'll be able to get more people to come and join us over here. You don't think that that's problematic and that defeats the whole purpose of being biblical or doing it for religion purposes?
These guys were secular atheists. If you say that everything the secular atheist is doing is acting in poor faith, then maybe you have a point. But I don't know that man. I don't know his motives. I don't know exactly what his motives or what he was thinking about when he did it. But there is
he wanted to colonize a land.